2022 Division II National Championship. And it is a 1-2 showdown. The top seed out of Kutztown, Andrew Dunn, 23-0. And he is matched up against Darrell Mason, the 2 seed out of Minnesota State, 21-0. We had kind of a heavyweight type feel at the 197 weight class final, and this is with 2 undefeated guys.
Yeah, very appropriate way, right, to end this 2022 Division II season. 1 versus 2, a combined 45-0. One just took out the reigning national champ. These guys have been the class of this weight class all season long. I don't think there's a better way to end this tournament or this season. 1 versus 2, our last match of the night. I love it.
And Darrell Mason makes his entrance. Minnesota State got the all-black singlet, MSU text across the chest. Dunn with the gold singlet. I'll tell you what, I gotta like those Nike shoes that Dunn is sporting.
Woo!
Huge swoosh on the side. Where did he get those?
Man, looks like boxing boots out there. And I will say Darrell Mason might be the coolest customer I've ever seen in this. We were doing the semifinals this morning. He comes up and gives me a high five and then goes out and wins an overtime match in the national semifinals just like it was no big deal. I love this guy.
He is fun to watch. Great attitude. Dunn's a tough customer, though. Waits for Mason to come to center mat, and we're underway. 285 pounds, the final championship match of the evening.
Yeah, Dunn disposed the reigning national champ, Cameron Teacher of St. Cloud State. Todd, how about that overtime semifinal, 3-1. Dunn gets the takedown. Mason, equally as impressive, taking out the 3 seed, Sean Strack of Central Oklahoma, 3-2 with a last-second takedown. So both these guys had a flair for the dramatic in their semifinal wins.
Andrew Dunn, back in 19, was a national champion in Cleveland. He was a national qualifier, or would have qualified, and wrestled in 20. That did not happen due to COVID. And then last year, appears that he probably was injured. No record there for him. He comes into this match ranked number 4.
And as a graduate of Edinburgh University in Western PA, shout out to all my brother in there, Andrew Dunn, the 2021 PSAC Wrestler of the Year. My man, the PSAC, my old conference, Kutztown longtime D2 school there in Northwest PA.
Mason in deep. Got that body lock, trying to keep him in bounds. Falls and gets the big 2.
Woo! That puts Matt Return at a whole new level. How about Matt's spike there as they go out of bounds?
Mason draws first blood with an explanation point, the transfer from Ellsworth Community College, and he's been at the top of the national podium before, Joe.
Well, and he's got a Greco background. You saw it there. Illinois, one of the great, maybe the best high school state in the country. He was a Fargo runner-up in Greco 3 years ago. You saw the Greco-Roman background there on those underhooks, just planting Dunn as they go out of bounds for the takedown.
Mason is the escape for Dunn. Timing, riding time not a factor. Mason, he was a champion at the Jim Koch Open, the Buena Vista Open, lots, in fact, all the duels, of course, and then Super Region 5 champion.
Speaking of Edinburgh, Tony Roby, Fighting Scott, head coach of Virginia Tech. This is where Dunn started his career. He was a Hokie coming out of college, wrestling for Coach Roby and the Hokies at D1 before moving back home to Kutztown in this great D2 program.
And Dunn was the champion at the Bob Quaid Cyclone Open back in December. Rattled off numerous dual wins and was the Super Region 1 champion.
Blown away by how athletic Darrell Mason was when we did that semifinal. This guy, every bit of maybe, 260, 270. He moved like a 41-pounder in that semifinal win today. Just incredible athleticism and agility for a big man. We'll see if it plays out here in his final.
And he had Sean Strack, the 3 seed out of Central Oklahoma, who had probably, 4 inches on him height-wise.
Oh, my goodness.
And it didn't make a difference as Strack, was trying to work as far as locking him up, a front headlock or anything. And Mason just knows how to move and be in position, even though, and here with Dunn, has a height disadvantage.
Well, you can teach a lot of things in wrestling, right? You can teach a stand-up. You can teach a double leg. You know what you can't teach? Great hips. Mason has great hips, natural hips, and big reason why he's wrestling in this match here, last match of the night.
Dunn with a huge win in his semifinal. Had to go to sudden victory. Terrific finish. Goes to 3-1 win over the defending national champion Cameron Teacher out of St. Cloud State. Again, 3-1 was that final.
Now, we've had some theatrics. Of course, it was a year ago you and I doing this. It was Cameron Teacher. Came down to the last match of the night where St. Cloud State got the national title thanks to Cameron Teacher. I don't think we've got that in the team race, but hey, we could have Darrell Mason and Andrew Dunn put on one more classic as we wrap up this season here tonight.
Dunn builds up, fights hands. Mason will cut him away. Confident on his feet. Boy, he should be. Is that takedown he got in the first frame executed perfectly. Reshot attempt by Dunn, no good.
Here you see the great hips again of Mason. I mean, to have that quick of footwork and that quick of hips, when a guy gets in on your legs like that, to recoil like that, very impressive. Again, God-given stuff. You can't teach that. And we're going to get a caution, a little frisky there on the restart. Again, 2 cautions before any points. That was the first one there on Mason.
And now, getting down about 1 minute left to go in the second frame. And Dunn, he's an imposing figure, both of these guys. Dunn's like a mountain, and then just Mason built solid head to toe.
Yeah, he's tough. I mean, if I'm Dunn, Dunn's actually had some pretty good shots here. Speaking of shots, Mason, quickly, I'm probably getting frustrated if I'm Dunn because he's done enough here, Todd, to get a couple of nice takedowns. Mason just so quick and athletic for that body size. It's tough to get through. Tough to get through those big hips.
Over under. Dunn actually looking up at one of the jumbotrons, see the opposite side of Mason. That's kind of smart. See what his feet are doing because he's got his head up on that right shoulder.
Yeah, use whatever advantages you can, right? We're in a 15,000-seat basketball arena that's got jumbotrons in either end zone or either court. Yeah, absolutely.
You see receivers do that in football. They look up at the jumbotron as they're heading towards the end zone. Time expires in the second, and we're knotted up at 2. Choice goes to Mason. Let's see what he's going to do. He goes down. He feels confident, but he has been so smooth in that neutral position.
Well, we've seen Dunn with that first period takedown by Mason in the second period. I think, 12 seconds combined riding time. So Dunn was able to get away quick. Now the question becomes, Todd, if you're Mason, can you return the favor here and not make riding time? Well, he does, actually, right there. 8 seconds. So riding time's off the table. This is going to basically be Dunn's going to have to find a way to get through the defense here of Darrell Mason in this third period. And to this point, I don't know how one would do that because Mason seems pretty solid in his stance.
Yeah, Mason standing his ground at center mat.
No cautions against Dunn, just the one against Mason. Neither one have been hit with stalling. Been a pretty active match for big guys.
Oh, and a big takedown. Well, the first one had an exclamation point on it, and that one does too.
Boy, they heard that one over in East St. Louis. That thing, a resounding thud around this arena.
And a whistle. The anklet fell off Mason, they'll just keep that. A lot of the big guys, you can put it up on their the straps on their singlet, or just remember what color they are as an official. So.
Well, again, we talked about the credentials, the pedigree coming in. Mason, one of the best Greco-Roman wrestlers in the country during his prep days. Both his takedowns, Todd, have been upper body. Clearly comfortable is Mason. The crowd doesn't like that stalling call at all. Thought it was a bit quick. Not going to disagree with the fans on that one.
Short time here, 10 seconds left in regulation. Dunn with one more opportunity to try to get this tying takedown. Mason blocks him off. He can afford to have another stalling, but he doesn't even need to. His time runs out. Your champion is Darrell Mason of Minnesota State.
Man, great match. Great way to cap off what's been maybe some of the best wrestling I've ever seen, certainly at this level. You see the emotions of the big guy there. He earned it, man. Wire to wire, undefeated season. Vanquished all the top seeds in his route to a championship. One of the more athletic big guys we've seen in D2 in quite some time. Humble giant there, Darrell Mason.
There he is. He was fun to watch. Heads over, gives a handshake to the Pootstown coaching staff. Class act as he'll head to our interview spot. It'll be our last interview of these 2022 national championships.
That's a lot of beef for Coach to hang on to there.
He did that in the semifinals. We were watching. I was like, this coach knows. He knows it's coming. Good base when a guy comes flying at you like that. Got to. Darrell Mason, ecstatic over his national championship. Gets the big hug from his coach, Andrew Dunn. Great sportsmanship, terrific sportsmanship. Wow, you love to see that, Joe.
That's as good as it gets. You tell me there's a better sport than this, what we're seeing right here? These two bulls, these two alpha dogs just fought a war for the last 15 minutes, and look at that embrace. Tell me there's something better than that. No chance.
They're saying some prayers, some words.
It's a brotherhood, man. These guys and girls that put this sport, go through it, there's nothing better.
Mason,
nothing more
class
rewarding.
Act holds up Andrew Dunn's hand as well. You're right, Joe. No other sport has that.
Well, this coach is going to get a leg workout in tonight, man. I got to go hang with this dude. I don't think that one's going to be able to pick you up, Darrell.
And we are finally with the 285-pound national champion, Darrell Mason out of Minnesota State. Darrell, you by far are the grand finale of these national championships. Just a lot of fun to watch. And what a class act as Andrew Dunn and you share some words afterwards. Talk about how important that is as far as the sportsmanship and the camaraderie of the sport.
I want to say thank God first. Thank my family. Thank Coach Jim Mikowski, Malcolm Allen, Carson, Henry, and the whole training staff at MSU, the whole organization at MSU, the fans, y'all have made it possible for me. One quote, I'm going to keep it out just short and sweet. Adversity break records. It may break some people. Coach J. Mack, a.k.a. Mikowski. I'm thankful for the opportunity. Be grateful for the little things. Amen.
Hey, Darrell, you are one cool customer, my man. You're wrestling your semifinal day. You came over and gave us all high fives at the scoring table. Is that your personality, to just be calm and cool when you step on the mat?
Yeah, my grandmother was a sweet person, man. And she had the biggest heart, the loudest voice in the room. I think I rubbed that off on her a lot, but she loved everyone. She wanted everybody, be loved, to welcome community or you outside the community or anything. And she wanted me to have this moment. And also, I'll be coming back.
Hey, I'm coming over for one more high five, Darrell. Let's go.
Darrell Mason, your national champion at 285 pounds. And all right, Joe Miller getting a bear hug from the big man who puts on a fireworks display, and he goes running to his teammates in the tunnel. Joe Miller. He's handing out those bear hugs. You got to get one, huh, buddy?
I think I need a shower after that hug. I got a lot of Darrell on me.
That, like I said, just a grand finale.
What a fun kid, man. What a dude.
But
that's a dude.
He has fun. He's a hammer. Woo. And sportsmanship and just the whole package, really. You can't down All-American presentation. And wow, what a way to end it. Joe, just so special for Darrell Mason.
Yeah, and by the way, shout out to Darrell Mason. We found out when he was talking about his grandma, she actually passed away this morning, unfortunately. Raised him as a kid, so bittersweet, but boy, special moment for him. Sure, yeah. Grandma's watching from above, and I mean, if that, you know, the scene with him and his opponent at the end of the match, hugging each other, and to go through that, man, what a special young man. Very, very impressive. Kind of encapsulates this whole sport and this whole weekend, what we saw right there on the screen.
Moment there. And also Andrew Dunn, when he knocked off Cameron Teacher in the semifinal, similar thing, just that camaraderie. We're battling with all we have, but when it's all said and done, you know, we're all in this together. We're all wrestlers. We're all warriors. Fantastic way to end this 2022 national championship.
I thought we couldn't top last year. Well, we did. And, you know, fans might have helped a little bit, but I would say the wrestlers carried the majority of the heavy lifting. The quality of wrestling it just astounds me. It gets better and better every year.
So here we go. 285 pounds. We'll turn over to the public address announcer.
In 8th place from Gannon, All-American Freddie Nixon. In 7th place from Fort Hays State, All-American A.J. Cooper. In 6th place from Central Oklahoma, All-American Sean Streck. In 5th place from Nebraska Kearney, All-American Lee Harrington. In 4th place from Colorado Mines, All-American Weston Hunt. In 3rd place from St. Cloud State, All-American Cameron Teacher. Your 285-pound runner-up from Kutztown, All-American Andrew Dunn. Presenting the trophy to our 285-pound national champion is head coach Jim Makowski from Minnesota State University. Your 285-pound national champion from Minnesota State University, Darrell Mason.
So that concludes the 285 All-American presentation and concludes this chapter, the 2022 chapter of the NCAA Division II National Championships. Todd Schumacher with Joe Miller, and as we have our final thoughts, like we've talked about, just a great way to end it, but such a great to have the fans back, to have that electricity in that field that we love, we expect each year.
Yeah, we were just lucky to have a tournament last year. Obviously, there was no fans with all the protocols in place with the pandemic, but it's good to feel the sense of normalcy, have fans back, be on top of the action like they were here the last 2 days. And, I mean, that match to end it just encapsulates what we saw here in St. Louis over the last couple days. Just an incredible story, putting a cherry on a Sunday of an incredible tournament.
The final team standings, Nebraska Kearney wins their 4th national championship, 127 points. and they were far ahead away from Central Oklahoma, who gets runner-up with 86 points. West Liberty, they were third, 75.5. And rounding out the hardware, the top four, St. Cloud State, the Huskies, 67 points. And so a lot of familiar names. And West Liberty back in the mix. We talked about them being Wheeling Jesuit, and they got all those guys. So just a great finish there, especially Kearney. They just had a lot. They brought a lot, 9, and they win the gold.
Yeah, it was a great night, man. I had a lot of fun, and let's start rolling the clock on the 2022